Like we've been doing this 50 state thing at the end of our show, where we give these news stories every single time, man, every single time, and there's always a story about a cop either breaking into a house or there's a story about this he tased a dude in the balls 20 times.
Yeah.
Like, again, like crazy shit. And just getting away with it. Like, absolutely getting away with it. And somebody needs to put their foot down on police brutality.
When you get judged by your peers, what do you think is going to be the end result? Nothing. They get fired or they get on paid leave or... That's what happens when you get judged by your peers, especially when there's a systematic racism. It's not built for minorities.
Oh yeah,
to prosper.
Yeah, this is sad. It's sad, man. It's really, really sad that you think that as the United States has progressed through its time, that we haven't learned from each other. And not necessarily for a dystopian, type of future, but man, to like live and learn and love each other for who we are. But no, like there's still systematic racism. There's still hatred against the LGBTQ community. There's massive things to for like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, like regardless of what type of person you are, there's always hatred for it. And a hatred is learned. It's a learned trait.
Yeah, it is.
And it just stems from other people, man. Like you see these rioters and looting and all this other shit. There are people who stop it, but then there's other people who look at it and say, do I need to be that guy that needs to stop that person from doing what they're doing? And yes, you need to be that person. You need to put your foot down and say enough is enough and just do it.
And it all comes like down to like fear of being like, well, what is this person going to do if I try to stop them? Especially when it becomes like a hive mind thing. Once one person starts doing it, a shit ton of people are going to start looting and you know what I mean? It could just turn into this whole thing of just violence, pure violence. It's almost purge-like fucking behavior, man.
It is. It is very much like purge behavior. Freaking insanity, man. We lost Kevin. We lost Kevin a couple minutes ago. Oh wait, actually, let's see. He might be back. Let's see if he came back.
That's what you get for using an Apple charger that doesn't work.
Fallen.
All right, Kev. Hey, you're back.
Yeah, dude, my phone died. Remember that story about my
exactly what Smokey just said.
Damn China-American phone charger.
Yeah, it was, it just, I was down to 1% when Will was starting his story, and then my Apple phone, was racist, Will. It just shut up. It said, the heck with him, silence this whole thing. And I was phone. But I was already prepared, Tony. I was downloading the Zoom thing on my computer. My computer said, Zoom was like, hey, you need specifications for this. Because it's a Lenovo. It's okay. It's a good computer. It's got a lot of memory, and I had to download some shit. I was cutting it really close to the wire off the camera from while I'm holding my phone. So I'm like typing here a little bit.
Yeah, I don't want to say that you look shiesty. You look like a rapist in your picture.
The lighting's all wrong.
It's the rapist lighting.
It's got some rapist lighting.
Yeah, it's even worse.
Oh my god! Oh yeah.
There's like candy falling from the ceiling. And there's a band in the background.
I'm carrying around a goddamn computer. Is that better?
Actually, that's perfect right there.
That's a lot better. I'm back at my spot right
now. Yeah, go back to your spot. Yeah. I love that hole in the wall in the back. It really brings out your eyes.
Yeah, you know what? I went into the living room, and that's where the rapey atmosphere starts up, I guess.
That's true. That's true. We already went through our whole spiel, man. We went through the whole talking about the the riots and the rampant racism, and I think you missed out on our conversation here, Kev.
We'll just have to run that back on.
Kevin had so much to say.
No, go ahead, man. Share your thoughts, man.
The floor is yours, sir. The floor is yours.
The moment has passed.
Seal it up, brother. Seal it up like the king coffin it is.
Well, I'm sure I can already assume how Will feels and how most people feel here about the looting. I don't really care about the looting. I got into a conversation before with a friend, and we're still friends, which is great. You know, it's you're able to disagree sometimes. He said, well, how would you like it if somebody came over to your apartment and looted your apartment? And I had to stress to him that he was, I said, man, you're kind of comparing a river to an ocean there. Because if anybody wanted to come over to my apartment and loot it, you'd have like one looter, and that's just called breaking and entering. That's all you got. You know, you would get one flat screen TV. You'd wonder why I don't have toilet paper. You know,
a grainy computer, apparently.
A grainy computer. They would be like, you know, man, who already hit up your place? I'd be like, I don't know, man. I just live here. Sorry. But,
yeah, it's like they're hitting up Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill actually closed their doors because they were afraid of people looting. How are you afraid of people? What do you got?
They're going to steal their shit back?
Yeah, right?
I'm sorry, I wanted my donation back. It was it was 12 broken toys. 12 broken toys, a holy shirt that I probably used to clean the toilet with, and
yeah, I mean, it just I can say I know that the whole community is angry, and they have every right to be angry. This isn't the first time. This isn't the first time it's happened. This isn't just like one bad apple, okay?
Oh yeah.
This isn't just two bad apples. Forest full of bad apples, and it has to start with not just the training, because sometimes you already have you have true psychopaths that can pass a psych examination. So it has nothing to do with a psych examination. It makes as much sense as a background checks for gun ownership. Okay.
Sure.
Because you can pass a background check because your background might be fine. You can't pass a front round check because no one knows what you're about to do with the gun. No one knows what you're about to do with the badge on. No one knows what you're about to do with the dangerous weapon on you, although highly trained. To put somebody's knee on their neck while they're screaming for their life, and you have a lot of backlash where you have some people saying, well, why didn't the people who were videotaping it do so? Because then you'd have more dead people.
Come here.
That's why. That's exactly why. They get arrested, you'd get them down there. That is the next domino to fall, and then you don't even have it on video. Unfortunately, that's the way that it had to go down, and it really didn't. If you look at it from a human perspective, what kind of Houdini trick is this guy gonna pull while handcuffed, belly down? What in the name of probable cause ever could have happened in the history of, say one time in history, they handcuffed a magician, and he got out of the goddamn handcuff and started doing Matrix shit and shot everybody up. Holy crap, how did you get him in the handcuffs to begin with then? So there's a number of reasons why everybody should be angry over this idea.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota's about the same population. I might be wrong, but it's about the same population as Denver, Colorado. And then you see other big cities looking at what they're doing in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they say to themselves, well, we got to do something too, because this has happened in our community also. Yeah. And we're a lot bigger of a city. We have more people to get on board. So they started up in New York, and they started up in California, and they started up in Detroit. and they started up in Philly. Whether or not they're doing it the right way, they're angry. And there's one way that an officer from Flint, Michigan, got together with protesters and wanted to walk arm in arm with them, just to show some sense of unity.
Some sort of solidarity, yeah.
Yeah, some sense of solidarity. And they went ahead, they walked the streets just fine, arm in arm, because that's when it doesn't turn violent. When the police start looking at the citizens they are supposed to protect as if everybody there is a criminal, that's when we have to be in fear from the taxes that are paid towards these people to protect us from them. That's when you don't feel safe in America anymore, when the National Guard is shooting at your house, even though they told people to get back in their house. Well, this is just like a dog wagging its tail, happy to see Dad when he comes home from work.
See, I think there's a lot more to that particular story of the girl that got pepper sprayed or shot with the paintball or whatever.
The paint.
Yeah, I think there's a little more to that story than actually believed in that particular.
Did you see the clip of the Vice reporter that got pepper sprayed?
Yes,
I did.
Yeah. And plus the mayor too. The mayor of what was it, San Jose or something? He was.
I
didn't see that one.
Yeah, he got maced in the face by the cops, and then the thing that kills me, and especially being a parent, is bringing your little child, like little kid, to the front lines where you know that the cops are actually doing shit, where they're actually shooting people, they're gassing people, and you're bringing your 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kid. I get that you're trying to prove a point, but the cops are not going to stop shooting because you bring your little child there. And that's also another problem.
I get where you're coming from, Tony. You're a parent, but I think it's something that cops really need to see, so that way they can look at themselves in the mirror at the end of the night when they have to remember pointing a gun at a child. I think it's something that you have to be able to tell yourself by the end of the day, by me pointing a gun at a child during a peaceful protest, do I feel good about myself? Do I feel like this is a job that I wanted to actually do, while everyone is unarmed, while a kid is on their back? That is a picture of humanity at its worst. And if you saw the picture that I saw, a picture of a little black girl on her father's arm.
Dressed as Batman.
What's that?
She was dressed as Batman, yeah.
Yeah, and the look in the officer's eyes, you could tell that there was a conscience kicking inside of the officer a little bit, where he then said to himself, well, he is unrecognizable at that point of what he was doing.
Yeah.
So as much as I totally understand, man. You're a parent. I wouldn't want that happening. I would never go out there if I had a kid and you put the kid on your arms, probably because of fear. But that's it's bravery. Some people could call it stupidity. It's a mix of anger, but you got a lot of emotions going around.
True.
And it's come to a head. I mean, you have. I wouldn't believe. And as a lot of people wouldn't believe that this is actually happening if there weren't so many cases of 10 years of having massive amount of people with cameras on their phone, 10 years of this not being addressed.
Yeah.
And we're looking at more than 10 years. If it's 10 years, it's 100 years of going on. And it's continuing. They're taking apart every family that they could possibly do by throwing people in jail that shouldn't even be there. Drug laws are set against in such prejudice that it's come to see the light of day, where now people are growing up without their fathers. People are growing up with mothers having to work 3 jobs, and then the kids still get taken away because then their mother can't work 3 jobs and still watch their kids at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
It's a setup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, to wrap this up, not that I'm trying to speed through this, but we are a timed show.
No, I'm just sorry I missed the whole. I'm just sorry I missed.
I know.
And my computer's like, by the way, I suck. I'm like, God dang it, computer. And it hung on 99%.
Yeah.
I swear it does nothing up until 99%. Then it's like, oh man, we're showing them the number.
Yeah.
Nah, man, thank you for your input, man. Like, everything you said is 100% valid, man.
Hey, man, I got ripped out of the bottom of my car by a cop before and kicked in the head, not once, but then the second time was on camera. I knew to park in the projects where they just went ahead up in Edwardsville.